Did I scare you? No? Not at all? You're actually less scared now than you were before? Oh. Huh. The spooky season is rapidly approaching, and probably here by the time this video is out, and I have a couple video ideas that I want to make to celebrate my favorite holiday. Like, for example, the full origin story to Cream's spooky necromancy powers in my Sonic AU, and how that relates to a new spooky villain that is tied to her, the Fabled Chaotix video, and a video about a neat idea I had for a FNAF-style sit-and-defend horror game. But of the three of these, I figured I'd focus on that first idea since A, I'm on a bit of a Sonic kick, and B, it's the most directly related to the season. Unfortunately, I can't just jump straight into telling Cream's story. There's a lot of extra lore and background information I'd need to go over first. So that'll be what this video is about. Here's a quick rundown of how the information in this video will be organized. 1. The magic system and basic world info. 2. The history and lore. 3. What arcs are brought over from the game and supplementary canon, and a quick explanation of each original one. Got it? Great. Now let's get straight into... On this version of Earth, the continent of Mobius is home to a species called Mobians. These beings are similar to humans, except that they take the form of fur of various animals. A small portion of the Mobian population is born with the ability to manipulate chaos energy. These individuals are known as Chaosborn. They often possess unique, specialized abilities as well. Super strength, mind control, and elemental power, JoJo stand, etc. Some Mobian races are more chaos energy sensitive than others though. Hedgehogs specifically are the most powerful. The Chaosborn are also born with a soul weapon, an extension of their being that helps them control their abilities. It usually manifests at around 15. The Chaosborn's power is derived from, as the name suggests, chaos energy, and while each Chaosborn has their own inner reserve of chaos energy at all times, this is specifically referred to as ring energy. Rings Mansion! Whoa! They are at their most powerful when directly interfacing with an external source of chaos energy. Like... the Lord! The Chaos Force was the first thing, a representation of change and entropy. It permeates every living and non-living thing. It simultaneously protects the universe and is the universe. However, the power of the Chaos Force cannot be directly accessed by the beings within the universe. As such, a conduit was needed. That conduit is the Master Emerald, and its 7 children, the Chaos Emeralds. Originally scattered across the universe, the 7 eventually came together on the planet of the Ancients, but after it was destroyed by the end, they found their way to the Master on Earth. With all 8 sacred gemstones united, Earth became the centermost hub of chaos energy in the universe, leading to many a war and conflict over their unfathomable power. Seeing this, the Chaos Force decided it needed a throughway to help guide those on Earth and keep them safe from the Chaos Emerald's true power. So then, after the fall of the Gaians, every century there was born unto the world a chosen Chaosborn. Usually a hedgehog, the child has no parents, as it is an avatar of the Chaos Force. This warrior of the wind embodies the ideals of the Chaos Force. Freedom, equality, and pure unfiltered heroism are the destiny of each avatar. The 21st century's incarnation of this ancient and sacred cycle is Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, I'm almost done with this, I swear. I just need to finish talking about rings now that I've explained the lore. The Chaos Force, being infinite, is unable to be fully contained by the Master and the 7 Chaos Emeralds. As such, some excess Chaos energy is released from the Emeralds in the form of golden rings. These rings can be used by Chaosborn to regenerate strength, replenish ring energy, and they are needed to maintain a super transformation. There's this part in Nazo Unleashed stick nodes where Sonic tosses Shadow some little ring boxes that he used to power back up mid-fight, and I thought this was so darn tough that I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And then they go on to talk about rings the same way they talk about energy and Dragon Ball.
So, let's see how many rings you have left to stop this.
I'm like, I thought it was so metal that I decided to just do that in my AU, because why not? It's my AU, sucker, I can do what I want! Anyway, I drew these little ring chips that Chaosborn carry around to replenish their rings if they need to. Like, legitimately, that concept is so friggin' tough, I can't get over it! Now for a quick rundown of all the adapted and original arcs that would be featured in this hypothetical anime. Quick reminder that this is all just brainstorming for brainstorming's sake. None of this is actually going anywhere as of now. Anyway, we have an original arc to introduce the canon, Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Battles, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, Sonic Rush, the Sonic X Meta X arc, Sonic Rivals 1 and 2, I'll just roll them into one, Sonic Rush Adventure, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Colors, a classic spin-off mini-series recounting Sonic's younger years involving Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic CD, and Sonic 3, Sonic Generations, Sonic Lost World, which I basically had to reconstruct from the ground up. I'm going to make a video about that eventually. Sonic Forces, Sonic Frontiers, the IDW Metal Virus arc, Sonic Dream Team, which would involve that Klonoa crossover I talked about in the first Sonic Redesigns video, the Imposter Syndrome miniseries from IDW, and the IDW Starline Surge and Kit arc. And that's about it for the adaptation arcs. I didn't include Sonic and the Black Knight because I felt like nothing I could do to change it would make it any better. It's already so peak as is, so I just left it alone. That's why most of the things that are left out are left out. Either that, or I just didn't really want to include them for the sake of not having too many dumb things clutter up the timeline. Now for my original stories. Going, of course, in timeline order. These are going to be elaborated on slightly more, but I plan on making videos on them all separately later, so I won't go too in-depth. The Introduction Arc. This is the first arc of the show, and would be used to introduce the characters. It involves Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, Eggman, and Metal. Eggman wants to find the 4 Stormgate Sapphires, and when brought together, they will grant the holder power over the weather. Eggman plans to use this to threaten the world with a never-ending hurricane. Yes, this is just an excuse to have the final battle take place in a tornado. Obviously, this takes place first. Shadow Miniseries. This will be a spin-off miniseries that adapts the events of Shadow the Hedgehog in the first season, but in the second season has an original arc involving Shadow fighting an evil cult that worships Mephiles.
Don't you dare say Al the Edge!
This arc would naturally include all of Team Dark, but would also involve Commander Abraham Tower and some extra villain characters from the Mephiles cult side. Diamond the Pangolin, an assassin with shiny blue and penetrable scales on his back, and Prophet the Beetle, the leader of the Order who wants to use Mephiles' power to remake the world in his image. This would take place between the Rush arc and the Metarex saga. Chaotix Miniseries. We have yet another spin-off miniseries here. Vector would be locked in a Death Note-style rivalry with a crazed Eggman supporter named Toxin the Scorpion, as the Chaotix get ever closer to discovering her identity. This one would take place right between Heroes in Battle. The Freak Show arc. Cream's newly unlocked shadow powers attract the attention of a very powerful evil spirit from the underworld, Double Take the Ghoul. When Cream eventually reaches full power, he plans to use her to create a new body for himself and find the 7 world rings, yes, the ones from Sonic and the Secret Rings, to bridge the gap between the world of the dead and the world of the living, so that ghosts, goblins, and creatures of the night may reign supreme. Naturally, Sonic and the gang try to make sure this does not happen by finding the world rings first, but Double Take eventually does find them and uses Cream to create his new body. Just as he's about to use the rings, though, Cream temporarily grants Sonic her power, which turns him into Darkspine Sonic so he can defeat Double Take. This would take place shortly after Sonic Colors, and Cream gets her powers during the Metarex arc, like I said in the second Redesigns video. Apparition arc. Already have a video about this guy, by the way. Apparition shows up, Sonic, Shadow, and Silver fight him. Takes place in between Unleashed and Colors. Transformers crossover. Now, I have my own Transformers AU as well, but I haven't really made a video on it because all the art I made of the characters is a little old. The designs are still good, but I just don't draw like that anymore. In any case, Eggman teams up with the Decepticons, Sonic and the Autobots stop them, fanservice central. No, not that kind of fanservice, freak! Takes place just before the Metal Virus arc. Seeing the Transformers are made of living metal is actually what gives Eggman the idea for the Metal Virus in the first place. Program arc. A sentient computer program built by Eggman to mimic Sonic's behavior ends up going rogue and trapping a bunch of Sonic's friends in his own, personal playhouse, inspired by the Amazing Digital Circus, and this would take place between Rivals and Rush 2. Silver's Future arc. Inspired by the recent Silver Renaissance trend, this arc would involve Marine and Blaze heading to Silver's future to stop Neo Sage. After Eggman Neo went to the past to meet the original Eggman, he ended up changing the future into one where Sage takes over the Eggman Empire and continues it far into the future. And unfortunately, she uses the Time Stones to lock the events into place, meaning that the threat cannot be stopped in the past and must be tackled in the future. Silver would recruit Marine and Blaze for this a little after Frontiers, but obviously it takes place 200 years in the future. What sort of videos would you like to see me make this spooky month? Are you excited for any of these? Please tell me what you'd like to see, and as always, read my webcomic, watch my other videos, check out my animation channel, and I will see you later. Adieu!